Welcome to an example in which I'm solving a absolute value less than or equal to situation. Let me bring it down here. So 2 absolute value, 2x minus 3 minus 9, less than or equal to 3. Okay. So how do we go about solving these things? Well, if you go back to the notes, so I made the exam number 1 notes for you. If you look here, you'll see absolute value less, absolute value greater. What do we have? We have absolute value less, so less than or equal. So we want this side. So what do we do first? Get the absolute value piece alone. So do whatever it takes to get that thing alone. Okay, that's step number 1. Get absolute value alone. So let's do it. Let's add 9 to both of these. And what do we get? 2 absolute value, 2x minus 3 less than or equal to 12. And then divide by 2 on both sides. All right, so we got the absolute value alone. That's step number 1, get it alone. All right, and now step number 2, so we got it alone. And then what do we do? Less than breaks, it breaks into a compound 3-parter. So we got to break it into 3 parts. So notice we take this we put the negative on the left, the positive on the right, and we take this symbol and we put it in 2 spots, and we put the thing in the middle without the absolute values. Notice I'm removing the absolute values, right? There's no absolute. There was absolute value here, and then it's gone. So we're removing the absolute value, putting the negative on the left, the positive on the right, and the 2 symbols in between, making it a 3-part, or what we call a compound 3-part inequality. So let's do exactly that. So I'm going to break it into 3 parts. Let me get rid of this right here. All right, so break it into 3 parts. So we're going to go negative 6 here, 2x minus 3 in the middle, no absolute values, and positive 6 there. So step 2. So you remove the absolute values, 3 parts, negative positive, like that. All right, so now it's a 3-parter. And now we're going to do whatever it takes to, that step 3 is basically solve it, you know. Step 3, whoops, getting the wrong tool there. Step 3, solve for x, so get x alone. So, all right, so I'm going to add 3 to all 3 of those. There we go. Boom. And so this is negative 3, 2x, 9. Okay. And then last step, divide by 2. And what do we got? Minus, let's see, minus 3 halves. These cancel here. X, got x alone. 9 halves. Okay. So how do we give that? I'm going to draw on a number line, but you don't have to. It's not required, but it might be helpful. So we're going from solid dot, nature has solid dot, 9 halves. Shading is in between. X is in between negative 3 halves and positive 9 halves. Now, why in between? Well, that's what it says. See, it says x is greater. X is on the wide side of negative 3 halves. So x is to the right of negative 3 halves, and x is less than to the left of negative 9 halves. So it's between, isn't it? It's between. That's what it's saying. And these are equal, so these are solid dots, because you can be right on the negative 3 halves and right on the 9 halves. How do we write that as an interval? Bracket negative 3 halves, comma 9 halves. We're saying all the numbers the answers are all the numbers from -3/2 to +9/2, brackets on those, because again, we're straight on those numbers because they're equal. So brackets instead of parentheses are when you're just around the number, you're not equal to it, but we're equal, right? We're equal, less than or equal, greater than or equal, straight on, brackets for those numbers. So there we go. You know, I want to make sure that you understand why that's the case logically. So that's our answer. We're done. But why this step? Why does it break into 3 parts? I want to show you why that's true. I don't want that to be magic. Math isn't magic. It's just following the truth. What truth? What am I talking about? Well, think about if you have absolute value and you had a number. What if you said absolute value of some number is less than or equal to 2? What if I just told you real life and I said, okay, what can you put in there to make that true? What numbers can I plug in and the absolute value will come out less than or equal to 2? Well, 0, 1, and 2, right? But also -1 and -2. The absolute value of any of those will work. If 3 won't work, or -3, so it's all the so notice it's all the numbers. X is all the numbers between -2 and +2. That's why you do this. You see, whenever you have the inside, whether it's a simple X or a whole expression, whatever, the inside is between the positive and the negative with the 2 symbols, right? That's just what it means logically, doesn't it? The inside number is between -6 and +6. So that's why we do that. Math is just following what's